Hello, everybody, and welcome. This is the Apostate Prophet. I hope everybody's having a fantastic day. Uh, oh, hello, everyone. Hello, hello, hello. It feels like I haven't been here in forever, man. I don't know. It feels like I haven't live streamed in a
It's been a
century.
minute. It's been a minute.
Been a minute. David, man, what's up? How you doing?
Yo. Hey, what's up, man?
What's up, man? How you doing? What's up?
Hey.
What?
What's up?
What's up? Have you heard of Shabana Mahmood?
Only today.
Only today. So Shabana Mahmood is a person who has just been announced as the head or secretary of what is basically the equivalent or even more of Homeland Security in the UK. It is
stepping stone to prime minister.
She's basically in charge of the national security of the entire country,
as she should be.
As she should be. In fact, I am surprised that they didn't put Anjem Choudhury on that position by now.
They should have, and they screwed that one up and stuck him in prison instead. But now they've seen the error of their ways, and now they're trying to make things right.
Alhamdulillah. But anyway, I don't want to jump into the topic right away, because what we have to do is before we jump into the before we jump into the topic, we have to spend an hour chatting about random things and reading super chats. That's what we need to do.
That is correct.
That is the right way to handle things. So we are going to do that. I just came back from a trip, so I'm kind of a little bit confused. I wasn't sure if I wanted to go live today, but I just went to Canada. Canada
must be nice.
Did you know it's a real country?
I think it's just like a fictional place from South Park.
No, it actually is a real country. So it is very strange. I did go there. Until I landed there, I didn't realize that I'm going to a French-speaking place. I landed there, and people are like, "Oui, oh, bonjour." Like, what the hell? So
you were like, "This is America. Speak English.
Speak American." So anyway, I went there to actually meet up and record some stuff with some very, very nice people, with Coptic Christian people who invited me, including a priest by the name of Father Gabriel Wissa.
You posted a picture of a Coptic church?
Yeah. They gave me a tour in the Coptic church and all that. Had long, nice conversations. Talked about believing in Christianity and all that. It was amazing. Yeah, it was. The channel is called Coptic Orthodox Answer. So
did they show you their tats, man? Did they show you their tats?
We actually had a conversation about that. So we were talking about Coptics and all that, and in the middle of talking about it forever, eventually I thought, oh, wait a minute. Do you see this tattoo that I have on my arm? So I mentioned it, this tattoo here, and then I talked to them about it, how this came into being, and they were very, very surprised and amused by the fact that I got this tattoo when I was an atheist in Jerusalem, together with you, and you have the same tattoo now on the same spot.
Oh wait, yeah, there it is.
And I mentioned that we got it from a Coptic place, and I said that I have been told there that that it is a traditional thing among Copts to get tattoos, and then one of the people that I was talking to, Paul, he was like,
"They almost always have one right here."
Yeah, he quickly unveiled his sleeve and showed me that he has a tattoo right here of the Coptic cross. So very, very nice. We had long conversations with them about things.
Yeah, and unless they get it touched up when they're older, it's usually their wrist tattoo, the wrist cross is usually faded because they get that when they're young. For anyone who wasn't following the discussion back in the day, we were in this tattoo shop asking them about tattoos and stuff like that. We're asking them how old someone has to be to get a tattoo, and I forget what they said, 16 or something like this. And they said, unless, and I was thinking, oh, okay, that makes sense. And then they said, unless you were the parent, and then any age. I'm like, what? You're like little toddlers and stuff like that. And they turns out, yes, they will tattoo toddlers and so on.
As they should.
But then people explained the background, and it was because back in the day, after Islam took over Egypt, if you wanted someone's little girl, if you're a Muslim and you wanted the little girl of a Coptic Christian over there, or whoever you want, you just go and take them. You just go and take her, whoever, and then they would go to the police. The Coptic parents would go to the police and say, "Hey, this guy just stole our kid." And then it's your word versus the word of a Muslim. You already lose. You already lose. And so to deal with this, they started tattooing their kids so that they could always identify them with crosses and say, "Nope, this is a Coptic kid." Muslims don't get crosses tattooed on them and stuff.
And they also did the whole thing. They also did it because under Muslim rule, it was banned for them to publicly or to publicly do certain Christian symbols and things like the sign of the cross. So the sign of the cross, which they do, was actually forbidden. So in order to do that, they simply they put some on their wrist and some on their hands to basically have it on the side all the time, to greet each other with that, to remind each other of that, to remind themselves of that, and so on. Very, very based people. But yeah, so this is the channel that I went to. I'm not sure when it's going to be out, but it was an amazingly fantastic conversation that I had with them. It was pretty cool.
Did they tell you need to convert to the true church, Coptic Orthodoxy?
Yeah, they said convert now or else we will kill you. I said, okay, I'm converting. Just let me go. Then once I left, I said,
You're like,
tricked
"Ha ha!
tricked you.
I apostatize."
Yeah. So, Princess Peach, is my Yoshi okay? Please take care of him. Love you guys. Of course it's okay. Here's Yoshi. See? Alhamdulillah. Ida Rogozin. Ida, what's up? How you doing? Ida's beast. Seth said, Shabbat Shalom. I'm excited to see you back in Israel. Don't forget Haifa in addition to Jerusalem, Nazareth, or for Christians to interview. Yeah, I announced it before I even made the plans, but now I'm in the process of making the plan. I'm going to be in Israel most likely in October for like 2 weeks. Because the Israeli government got in touch with me and said, hey, we need somebody to come here and make a bunch of videos it's just in our favor, full on Israeli propaganda, just whatever we say you just do, even if it's if it's correct or not. And I said, hey, I'm the person for that job. I just want a bunch of money. They said, oh yeah, here, take all this money. And look, so here's one of those. So they gave me some of that money. So I agreed to it, and yeah, now I'm going to Israel to record a bunch of videos. Alhamdulillah. Might even talk to Benjamin Netanyahu. Alhamdulillah.
BB.
Yeah. No, I'm going there to do a bunch of things independently, basically. But I'm going to be there, and I want to talk to a bunch of Christians, Jews, and others. And it's going to be based. Paul, AP, did you hear about the Turkish man who wanted to assassinate the Pope? Yes, I did. As a Turkish convert from Orthodox to Catholicism, what is your response? Are you talking about the old one? The one who tried to kill John Paul II? Is there a new one who wanted to kill the Pope? Turkish.
And more important, can we conclude that all Turks are evil?
Oh, you don't need any evidence for that. That's already a given. But yeah, that was in the 80s by a Turkish guy who tried to kill Pope John Paul II. He was arrested. He went to prison, and the Pope visited him in prison and said, "I forgive you, son," and stuff. Then the guy later converted to Christianity because of that. It's funny. Did you hear about the 2 Turkish men who wanted to shoot the Christian mass in Italy? What does Erdogan put in the Turkish food that so many are hyper? I don't know. It's in the genes of Turkish people in general. Turkish people are sick. Turks are sick.
You're sick. You are sick.
No matter if it's like if they're Muslims, if they're non-Muslims, if they're converted or something, like Every single one of them.
I
Completely.
think it's I think they have kind of an inferiority complex because like everything that is remotely good, and trust me, there's not a lot. Anything that's remotely good in Turkey, they stole from the Greeks.
Yeah.
And so all they have on their side is like failure and then stealing from other people, and that makes them feel bad. So they like compensate by bragging about being the best people in the world and being obsessed with taking over the world.
Based. As they should be. British people should learn little bit from Turks and also claim to be the best people in the world. AP, which state is the Jewish state? What a question.
It's all the Jewish state.
Israel is the Jewish state, the greatest state of all.
There you go. Jack Ray, random super chat is random. Oh, and Al-Zud be upon Muhammad. Al-Zud be upon Muhammad. David, did you hear my song about Israel?
Yeah, your chunk yogurt song.
Yeah.
Although I'm still like 50-50, but I'm not entirely convinced that was actually him dancing.
Now you're just sounding ridiculous, man.
I'm just saying, because I never go with the conspiracies and stuff like that, but this looks like a conspiracy to frame.
You think that this wasn't really him dancing here?
Of all, the greatest state of all.
Because I didn't see the original clip, so.
How could you say something against the British right? How could you say something against the British right? How could you say something against the British right? The greatest state of all. Israel is the Jewish state, the Jewish state.
I don't know why there's a random dog coming into the picture at some point. Is it even a dog? I don't even know what that is. Could be anything. Huh?
That's a dog. Yeah, it looks like a dog at certain times. At some point, I thought it was shoes popping up, like he's got his feet up in the air.
Yeah. Love your Cenk Uygur techno music. LOL, says Abu Baker Al Puff Daddy. Thank you. Appreciate that. Did you eat poutine, Tim Hortons donuts? No, I didn't. But I did see as I was traveling through Montreal, I saw one Tim Hortons there and immediately thought of David. So yeah.
You didn't go to Tim Hortons, man?
I didn't.
You could have gone into that nasty, disgusting, filthy place and gotten a giant mug of maple syrup. And you didn't. You missed your chance, man.
I don't do that kind of stuff. I mean, we Jews sip the tip of the Zut stick. What's the tattoo compared to that? This is true. Yeah. David Wood, what's up with the dog situation? Calm down.
Oh, you mean that neighbor's dog that kept me up for 2 freaking months straight?
Yeah.
Yes, oddly enough. And I was thinking, did they get rid of the dog? Because but then I just saw the other day, they're walking, they were playing with him in the front yard. So I don't know what happened. But yeah, there was a dog, because I sleep during the day because I would stay up with my kid at night. And basically for 2 months, I got nothing done. It's like 6 weeks. And then I started recovering by really cranking up a noise machine, a white noise machine, till it's like full blasting. And I couldn't even hear my alarm right beside my head if it was going off. But yeah, it was really, really sucky time. But yeah, weird. I haven't heard the dog in several weeks. And then I saw them. So I don't know what happened, but that stupid dog hasn't been barking its head off right outside my window anymore.
Noise.
Which is good, because I mean, I'm there's still that psycho part that's coming up with plans of how to deal with him and stuff, but then he just stopped barking. Maybe he sensed the danger.
I don't know if you've seen this video. IP sent this to me and I watched it and I thought,
IP2.
This is very interesting. Oh, you do?
Oh yeah, I saw that.
Yeah. I thought this is a very interesting.
It's a powerful point. It's a powerful point that needs to be shared. Everyone be sure to share this powerful point.
I don't know what her name is again. Anyway, let's
Why are you scrolling through the comments, man?
Guys, I'm starting a conspiracy theory / rumor for free. Enjoy. Men who want Sharia law are secretly gay. So you're telling me a straight man doesn't want to see a beautiful woman in traditional dress? This is the traditional clothing of Pakistan, and this is what Sharia law has done to it. Traditional clothing of Yemen, Sharia law clothing. Traditional clothing of Iran, And Sharia law, traditional Afghanistan dress. And what Sharia law has done.
She keeps showing the same picture of them under Sharia.
What is it? The Warwick Report. I think that's the channel. I don't know.
Sharia law has done to it. They want to hide women, completely cover them up. Would a straight man do that? No. Therefore, the Muslim Brotherhood is gay. And
It is a good point. Yeah.
Sharia law is gay. Straight men here like strip clubs and boots. They really should just accept this about themselves and be like a normal gay who loves women and wants to help dress them. So, well,
So that's apparently the point. Sharia law is gay because they cover women up. They don't want to see them.
Hey, it's interesting. Because I was just on me and IP were just on Giant DOC's channel, and they were playing a clip. Remember that clip of when pervert Muhammad Hijab was talking to pervert Daniel Hakikachu, and they're like,
Yeah.
they're bragging about 85% of the world are all banging multiple women. Ha ha! The revert girls take it the best.
Yeah.
I never watched the rest of that, but they also, because that was like a 4 or 5 hour stupid boring live stream. But there was another part where
That's very rude.
Daniel Hakikachu was talking about they ended up talking about an obsession with boys or something like that, and Hakikachu was saying something, and Hijab was like, well, to be fair, I've read a bunch of Arabic love poetry, and it was all Muslims praising little boys for being so hot and sexy. And it's like, I had just read an article about that for my Zut video, so he was entirely correct. They were Muslims for over 1,000 years were obsessed with little boys and how attractive they were and how they're as beautiful as beautiful women and so on. And once you got a beard, then they weren't attracted to you anymore. But if you were a boy, they didn't consider it gay. Anyway, then they were talking about Hijab actually made a good point, which other people on our side have made tons and tons of times. But he said he thinks part of the problem with men abusing boys in the Muslim world is because of like the strict segregation. He said he was talking to a guy from, I think, Pakistan or something like that, and the guy said he never seen a woman. He had never seen a woman in his village because they don't go out. They don't go out, and so you never actually see a woman. Anyway, Hijab saying, okay, so you take these people and they're completely segregated their entire lives, and then they, there's boys around. What do what's going to happen? And so he actually said, maybe we need to not be so strict, and you can't trust him because we know what his intentions would be for easing up on the restrictions. But anyway, he's making the point about why you've had this obsession with boys, and it's because there are no women around. The women are kept away, and you never learn how to react properly, and you end up obsessed with boys and so on. But I mean, just think about that. Hijab is actually saying because of this strict segregation, it's turning people more gay. And hear this woman saying, hey, I have a conspiracy theory. These guys are actually gay, and that's why they cover up women. Well, guess what? If they were actually gay, if these guys were actually gay and they wanted just men banging each other, banging boys and stuff like that, then what would they do? They'd cover up women and never give men any access to women and so on, never see them, and all you see are boys. And so it fits. I'm saying it all fits together. Not the way Al Zut fit together with Muhammad, but
Beast. Tracy Team Jesus says, can you please rip on Knowles and Tucker? What did Knowles do? I know that he was recently on an interview with Tucker. I really don't like Tucker Carlson, but I kind of like Michael Knowles, so
yeah, I didn't watch that either. Is it something important to watch? Because I just made a video about Tucker, and I'm going to make at least 2 more videos about Tucker because that dude's messed up, man.
He is pretty messed up. But yeah, tell me why what's with Michael Knowles? Because I like Michael Knowles. He's actually one of the people that I I like the guy. I think he's a good guy. So even if we disagree here and there, I think that he's a pretty good guy.
I'm gonna look it up and just check out the comments and see if people are commenting on something important.
I also recently saw him do a little play, a little game show with Ben Shapiro, and it was actually very cool. In fact, I think we should look at it sometime. I don't know if you've seen it or if you have
Evidence.
encountered it, but it was actually so it was on Michael Knowles' channel, where he asks, I'm not sure why some people don't put timestamps on their videos in the year 2025 of our Lord. And but it was basically like the two asking each other questions and then guessing each other's answer. It was a pretty nice thing. And they also kind of made fun of the whole accusations of dual loyalty and stuff like that. Oh yeah, here. Look.
This answer, president now. He can, okay.
Do you, Michael Knowles, have dual loyalty to the Vatican?
I'm warning you so you don't think that I'm cheating. This answer goes down about like 3 levels.
I know. I
This
think
is-
I actually think I know what the answer is going to be here.
Okay.
Okay, go ahead.
So it is a very interesting thing, but the revelation of the answer is also more interesting.
Okay,
Correct. Why?
because you have soul loyalty to the Vatican.
That's like the second level of it. So I would say, if
So these
That-
people
that-
are.
That's some pretty corny joking right there.
So anyway, I have no idea what Michael Knowles did, but I don't want to attack Michael Knowles. Abu Bakr El Puff Daddy, David Wood,
Hey.
what's up with the dog situation?
Hey, yo.
What?
I might want to check this out because they actually, I'm just looking at the timestamps. They are actually discussing, they're discussing some kind of pointless stuff, but they're discussing some interesting stuff. So at the very end, they're talking about
Stuff?
how did Michael get into cigars? I don't care about that. How early should you get married and stuff like that? But then does Michael miss working with Candace Owens? So, what is an American? Is Putin actually evil? Is Trump? It'd be interesting. They're talking about Putin because old Tucker might get his feelings hurt. Let's see, Trump. Hang on, where's the cool stuff? Will we see another? Will we have another civil war? Why are young Americans becoming conservative? Devil, blah blah blah. Okay, where's it? Michael's relationship with Norm Macdonald. That's actually cool because Norm Macdonald's one of my favorite comedians of all time. Apparently, Michael was buddies with him. Then you've got the middle section is Michael's journey from atheism to Christianity. So that's interesting. I bet it was probably the exact same story as me. Should we legislate morality? Is there salvation outside the church? Vatican II controversy. How technology and wealth is corrupting the Christian West. Should be how they are correcting the Christian West. Get a better editor. Why is Catholicism booming? Minneapolis Catholic school shooting.
Because it's based.
Yeah. So anyway, the first section is the left's exploitation of Greta Thunberg. Interesting. So lots of interesting topics in there. If it didn't have Tucker, I probably would have watched it already.
Interesting. Anyway,
How many times do we have to answer the same exact question?
I don't really care. Guys, do you think UK is going to become Muslim? I'll be in Israel in October after my US trip to see my brother next week, inshallah. Will it become Muslim? I hope so. No, so this is why this issue is important, right? I'm not sure if it's going to become Muslim. I honestly doubt that the UK would become a Muslim country. But then the thing is, a long time ago, you would have doubted that the UK would put Muslims in charge of their national security. So there was a recent report that 40% of kids that attend school are like Muslims or of Muslim origin or something like that, which is pretty messed up. If you think about it, that means that in a few generations, in a very, very few generations, Muslims will be about to take over the country in terms of demographics. So there is that aspect, but I would say that the more likely outcome will be that there will be there will be some violent conflicts in the future, and you could have avoided that a long time ago, and you could still avoid that. I
You
would
could
say,
still avoid it
still
right this second.
and there is a lot of good stuff happening right now. I was actually surprised when I went to London how much there seemed to be more of a spirit of people kind of resisting and waking up and trying to do something, trying to engage in protests and activities and rallies and things like that. I see that the upcoming rally now on September 13th, I will be there, by the way, organized by Tommy Robinson. That is expected to be a huge event. I hope it has a massive turnout, but that is giving me some hope. And there is the whole event. There is the whole issue right now going on of British people taking offense at the fact that a city council took down a bunch of flags. So they're going around and hanging up flags everywhere. So there is some interesting awakening going on, and there is hope. And we need to keep that up. I talked a lot of trash about the UK in the past. Right now, the way I feel about it is I also want to participate in helping and keeping up this spirit, and helping British people to survive and to wake up and to do something about the current situation. Which is why I am going to be in the UK, heading there next week or something. I'm going to be at the rally. We'll probably do something with Tommy Robinson as well, and with Visegrad and all that. So, yeah, inshallah. Thomas Snowing says, David, you having a history in teaching philosophy makes a lot of sense considering your rhetorical skills. Great work. What is
That's what I do.
what other super chat be like?
David, you sound so amazing.
Brother makes a good point.
Just kidding, Thomas. Thank you. The Nuclear Matt Jew, AP, from seeing you speak about the relationship between Western freedoms and Islam, I wonder if you'd believe in regulating it further than immigration. Yes. Yes. There are things that have really changed when it comes to my perspective on freedoms and how to treat, religious expressions and all that. There was a time where I kind of thought it was the very wise and smart thing to be this whole free speech absolutist, free speech and equality and freedom for everyone kind of thing. I don't really believe in that anymore, honestly. I think there need to be some regulations in place for certain things in order to prevent the stupidity that has taken over the United Kingdom, for example. And I think people also need to be encouraged, even if it's not a legal barrier, encouraged to openly and quickly and actually outright say that it would be better if you don't put people with Islamic values into government positions or into politics in the West. This shouldn't be a controversial thing to say the West is the way it is because it is built on values that are not Islamic, that are very un-Islamic. You shouldn't want to undo this. It's completely stupid.
And guys, just since a lot of these questions revolve around this issue, let me just say again, we just said you still have an opportunity to deal with this peacefully. How many people are actually criticizing and exposing Muhammad and mocking Muhammad? Very, very few. Tiny, tiny, tiny fraction of 1%. And look at how they panic, and look at the tantrums they throw, and look at how they try to silence people. They can't handle it. They can't handle it. They can't handle hearing Muhammad exposed. They can't take it. Imagine if the entire population was doing it regularly. Would that be a place you, as a radical Muslim, would want to have your kids and so on, or be raising your family? No, you want to get as far away from that place as possible. And the people who would stay would be what kind of people? People who are there and understand, hey, these people have every right to mock my religion, and I accept it because I really do want to live here and work and have a better place than I did in my Sharia compliant hellhole that I came from.
Powerful, 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 powerful.
It's weird. People always think that things are like massively complicated, and oh, there's no way to do this, and oh, it's just inevitable that Islam is taking. You guys literally need to learn a bunch of information about Muhammad and share it everywhere you go. Like every day, I see like 5 or 10 of the pictures or videos of Muslims blocking a road and stuff like that, praying. Guys, a woman or a dog passing in front of them nullifies all their prayers. How, in the name of common sense, isn't there always 100% of the time, every time they block traffic or something like that, or block a road with their prayers, how is there not a woman or a dog walking back and forth in front of them? How?
There should be.
It should be a woman and a couple of women and some dogs walking back and forth in front of them, and several people around them saying things about Muhammad and Aisha. And saying things about, hey, what are they taking that position for? Are they imitating Muhammad on the night of Al-Zut? See how long that crap lasts if people do that. You can end that right now, and you just don't. And you think, there's just no way of doing this without...
I still think that it should be done. That if there is a place where they are doing like a public prayer session in New York or somewhere, we should turn up with loudspeakers and play music
and talk and talk about Muhammad and make sure there's a woman and a dog walking back and forth from. Keep in mind, guys, I'm not talking about like if Muslims are living, minding their business, living their lives, and going to their mosque to pray. I have no inclination to mess with them or interfere with any of that. When you're out, when you're taking over an intersection, that is a declaration to the world of your intentions and so on. You're making a statement. So I have no problem making a statement back in those situations. I just can't figure out why everyone, what do we do here? So you can look at their religion and it tells you exactly what to do that would stop that. And you never, ever do it. And then you just go, we can't figure this out. It's so hard. No, it's incredibly easy. You just don't do it.
Based. Constantinople is a Christian city that was plundered, said PC. Powerful.
No way. I've never heard of this Constantinople, but I have heard of Istanbul.
All right, man. Rationality. If I keep reading super chats, and people keep sending super chats, so I just want to get.
Oh, really? Huh?
Yeah.
I've never heard of that before.
Alan Zutman, AP. Would you consider taking Mike Winger to Israel? Absolutely. He's the first person I thought of, that I wanted to offer it. Last time I went with David, but then I thought I need to go with a better partner. So I was wanting to reach out to Mike Winger for it, but yeah. Paul said it's new Pope assassination plot arrested in Holland. Really?
Yeah, you're talking about one from the 80s. They're talking about one that just happened like 5 seconds ago.
Pope. Another Turkish guy?
Turkish dude. Yeah, it's always the Turks. If you can look at any problem in the world, there's a Turk behind it.
I don't see any news on that. What are you talking about, man? Huh. I don't know. Gotta see. Pope Leo assassination attempt. I don't know. Oh, Pope Leo. No, I still don't see anything. When you were in the Holy Land, did any Muslims glamorize Al-Husseini, Hitler's Mufti? I heard there's a school in Gaza named after him. Haven't been. I haven't. No, I didn't talk to.
No, it was a plot to assassinate Pope Francis. This was a while back. They just caught the dude.
Oh, okay. Well. You won't really encounter this kind of stuff over there. You won't encounter it if you just go talking there. But yeah, they have they honor him. They honor Hitler's friend. Fatwa Vice's video London's Holy Turf War from a decade ago about Anjum and Powell Golding is really worth a watch. It's about the area AP covered in Visegrad. Fantastic. Did you see how many views our Visegrad video has, man?
Saw it had like 400 and some thousand the last time we checked it.
What? 400. It has 777,000 views.
Dang. How did anyone pay attention to you? Maybe it has like a watch time of like 2 seconds.
Well, it is mostly
But
because
no,
of
it couldn't be because then YouTube wouldn't be recommending it to so many people. So how did you actually keep people listening to you for that long?
it wasn't just me talking. So
Oh, okay. So they were there for Stefan.
yeah. Now, I was talking to him on the phone earlier, and I thought I said to him, "Hey, did you expect this video to get that many views?" He said we were expecting like maybe 200,000 or something. So
777,000.
this is good.
Yeah.
This is good.
It's funny.
because
It's funny. You should
people
be
waking up.
Yeah, you should be like, yeah, you were like, hey, did you expect it to get this many views? And he was like, no, if I expected this many people to watch it, I'd have got a better person to interview.
Yeah, exactly. Alhamdulillah. Powerful. Powerful.
That's a lot because they have 137,000 subscribers and your video's well on its way to getting 1 million. We'll probably pass 1 million at this rate in another week or so.
Yeah, look, it's the most watched video now. So, alhamdulillah. All right. Why is
Wow, by far, dude, yours has 777,000.
we can see it, man? It's on the screen here. Look.
The one right before that, number 2, is Tommy Robinson. Oh, and that's from 3 weeks ago.
In your face, Tommy.
And he's from 3 weeks ago, and he's already behind you. Not in the zoot sense, but he's already behind you. And yours is going to hit 1 million. You're gonna be double at his. All right, everyone, you see it now, and you know it. AP is more important and more worthy of being listened to than even Tommy Robinson.
Do you see the thumbnail? Where do you see me on the thumbnail here?
Well, he doesn't, but you're in the title, so people are obviously.
Who cares about the thumbnail?
Actually, that's a good title. 24 hours in East London's Muslim area. That's a good title.
Based.
That's a good title, man.
Asa says, "Why isn't David Asa? Asa, did you get a new profile? It looks like this is a new profile. I noticed because it says as a new profile. Why isn't David going to Israel? And I had my YouTube, Facebook blocked due to what's happening there in the UK and the socialist Labour government. David, why aren't you going to Israel?
Been there.
Been there, done there. MTAI highlighted this tonsil stone that popped out. Good. The nuclear Mahdi Jew says, write a book about Momo being queer with a Zut minor attracted person, etc. Raise leftist support while the Ummah can't say a thing about it. That's what you need to do.
Hey, you know how all these weirdos try to make these sex books for little kids, and then parents flip out about it and they're like, hey, look at what's in the school library and stuff like that. Anyway, a bunch of that stuff is going on. Someone should make a children's book about the Al-Zut for Muslim kids to learn about their prophet and then see how everyone reacts.
That's good. That'll be a fantastic plan. Okay, I'm going to go on with Switch S later. I want to finally get to the topic here. So, Tommy Robinson, I could look at articles and I'm going to do that too. But so Tommy Robinson posted, Shabana Mahmood, who swore her oath of parliamentary office on the Quran, is to be Starmer's new Home Secretary. She will now be in charge of immigration at the borders. Here she is saying Islam to her is more important than anything. Labour need removed. Actually, sorry, I read this the wrong way. Shabana Mahmood, who swore oath of Parliament office on the Quran, is to be Starmer's new Home Secretary. She will now be in charge of immigration at the borders. Here she's saying Islam to her is more important than anything. Labour need removed. Was it good? I need to work on this one.
Yeah, you definitely need to work on your Tommy impression.
It's
all right. Let's check it out.
itself, Islam, my own religion. Like a lot of practicing Muslims, my faith is the most important thing in my life. It is the absolute driver of everything that I do. I feel a very strong calling of my own conscience, and my conscience calls me to God. That is how.
So her faith is her Islam is the most important thing to her.
That's interesting. So she swore in on a book that calls Jews and Christians the worst of creatures, that calls for the violent subjugation of Jews and Christians, that says don't be friends with Jews and Christians, although you have in 328, unless it's to guard yourselves against them. And you can read the Ibn Kathir's commentary on that. That's when you smile in their faces but curse them in your hearts and so on. Interesting stuff. Interesting book to swear on.
Libelle says, AP, that Tommy sounded like a cross between Mr. Bean and Sid the Sloth. I believe you. I know it was awful. It was the first time that I tried a Tommy Robinson. So I clearly need to practice. So she is a devout Muslim. And as a devout Muslim, David, do you think she's aware of certain things such as that Muslims are how could we point this out? Do you think that she's aware and she fully loves and believes in the fact that the Quran says that the disbelievers, the non-Muslims, are the worst of creatures, lower than cattle, lower than cockroaches?
You just don't know, because there's so much ignorance among Muslims about what their own books teach, that, I mean, you'd be shocked. You can just bring up everything the Quran says. You can bring up 100 verses to a random Muslim, and they will have never heard any of these verses. And so it's a weird situation where if she knows what the Quran teaches, then this is exactly what she's going to be doing, right? Because you pretend to be friendly while you plot the destruction of the kuffar. But she could also genuinely believe, hey, we're all going to get along, and Islam is great, and Islam is wonderful, and everything's just going to be wonderful here. You can't tell, because they're going to say the exact same thing. In other words, if she is plotting to subjugate, if she is part of the plot to subjugate the UK, she's going to be saying exactly what she says in whatever video she's in. If she is entirely peaceful, she's going to be saying the same thing. That's why you can't tell. Just have to see. But here's the thing. It's kind of irrelevant either way, because if you actually have good intentions, as the percentages increase, you either get on board with the plot to take over, or you become a target yourself. That's how it works.
So here is the problem. Having a devout Muslim who says that her religion is the most important thing to her is worse, no matter where you stand. No matter if you think, oh, somebody who has faith is better than somebody who doesn't faith. I'm sorry to say, having somebody like that in charge of a multicultural country, or of your country, most importantly, is significantly worse than having a full-on atheist, than having a full-on Christian, than having a full-on Jewish person, than having a full-on Hindu person or a Buddhist person or whatever it is in charge. Because an atheist person does not normatively believe that non-atheists are the worst of creatures. A Christian person does not believe that non-Christians are the worst creatures. A Jewish person does not believe by doctrine, by text, that non-Jews are the worst creatures. A Hindu person does not believe that non-Hindus are the worst creatures. A Buddhist person does not believe that non-Buddhists are the worst creatures. I mean, you could say some of these religions might have, certain things that I find wicked, that I might find immoral, and so on. Or, atheism is morally corrupt, and so on. Okay, fine. You can say whatever you want, but there is a fact. None of these worldviews normatively views the other as the worst creatures and openly and directly insults and dehumanizes them. Islam does. Islam alone does. Islam actively does vilify and dehumanize them. You can... I'm laughing at a stupid inside joke, but Monk Johannes says, are you a full-on rapist? This is a reference to It's Always Sunny. And I don't want to explain it now, because it's an inside joke for a reason. But
not in all sense, but
so the Quran says those who disbelieve among the people of the scripture and the polytheists were not to be parted from misbelief until there came to them clear evidence. A messenger from Allah reciting purified scriptures, within which are correct writings. Nor did those who were given the scripture become divided until after there had come to them clear evidence. and they were not commanded except to worship Allah, sincere to him in religion, inclining to truth and to establish prayer and to give zakah, and that is the correct religion. So until here, it speaks of those who disbelieve not being upon the truth and those who believe being the pure good ones. And then comes the line. Indeed, they who disbelieved among the people of the scripture and the polytheists, so basically everyone who disbelieves in Islam, will be in the fire of hell, abiding there eternally. Those are the worst of creatures. The worst of creatures. The Quran itself teaches that non-Muslims, people who reject Islam, whether they are Jews, Christians, polytheists, or others, are the worst of creatures. Worst of creatures. Worse than cattle, worse than cockroaches, the worst of creatures. This is not a religion that is simply a good faith, that is simply a good religion. It is not something where you think, oh, this person just has a very strong belief in God, and well, how adorable, how wonderful. Must be a good person, therefore. No, this is a religion that explicitly and openly vilifies and dehumanizes and describes other people as the worst of creatures. This is what this religion is.
Hey, yo, you got the Hilali Khan there?
The Hilali. Let me pull it up. Quran 98.6. 98.6. Hilali Khan. Oh, gosh, yeah. What do you want from Mr. Hilali Khan? Here.
There we go. Check that one out.
Verily, those who disbelieve in the religion of Islam, the Quran and Prophet Muhammad, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, from among the people of the scripture, Jews and Christians, and al-mushrikun will abide in the fire of hell. They are the worst of creatures. So what's your problem?
They had the commentary of Ibn Abbas on that one, on what it means to be disbelievers.
It is
Talking about
obligatory
if you reject Muhammad.
to have belief in the messengership of the Prophet Muhammad. Narrated by Abu Hurairah, Allah's messenger said, by him in whose hand Muhammad's soul is, there is none from amongst the Jews and Christians of these present nations who hears about me and then dies without believing in the message with which I have been sent, but he will be from the dwellers of the hellfire.
Got that?
Based. So, all those people who are presently alive, Jews and Christians, but also all the others who hear about Islam and then who die, are all eternally going to hellfire, and they're the worst of creatures.
And people don't understand like how this influences the thinking. People sit here and wonder, how can like gangs of men, like entire families of men and so on in the UK treat 11, 12-year-old girls as if they are complete garbage? Because of verses like this, they are. They're. You think Allah's all upset if you step on an ant or something like that? He's not.
Yeah.
If you smash a cockroach, no.
Yeah.
Okay. What if you horribly abuse a 12-year-old girl who's lower than a cockroach? Does Allah care? No, not a bit.
Not too much.
You know what
Not
they should do? They should take people who really believe in this and make them the leaders of every major city in the UK. Well,
Wait, what is Katie Hopkins saying? Wait a minute.
I'm just about to go on stage here. We are
that Katie
in
Hopkins?
the West End.
Apparently it is.
I've heard the name before. I have no clue who she is.
So happy Shabana Mahmood is Home Secretary.
Oh, awesome.
End. Katie Hopkins in the heart of the West End. Cal's on stage as we speak. But I just wanted to say,
Muhammad's
with utmost sincerity, I am so happy for Shabana Mahmood because she's now Home Secretary. And as a Brit, someone who's been in the British Army, someone who loves her flag, nothing says home to me as much as Shabana Mahmood. I mean,
That's messed up, man. It's very rude. I don't know why you're laughing.
it's just so British.
Wait, I want to hear that again.
for Shabana Mahmood because she's now Home Secretary. And as a Brit, someone who's been in the British Army, someone who loves her flag, nothing says home to me as much as Shabana Mahmood. I mean, it's just so British.
That's very rude. Very, very rude. Very rude. Very rude. So, but hey, none of this has to be bad. You know, maybe she's a very, very fantastic British person who just wants to take care of security. So, what is this person of her rank in charge of? Shabana Mahmood. Shabana Mahmood, Secretary of State for the Home Department. That is what it is. This is now her official title, Secretary of State for the Home Department. And what is a Secretary of State for the Home Department in charge
Good question.
What is she in charge of? What will she now be in charge of? This is a very, very good question. Maybe she won't be in charge of anything. Oh, no. Responsibilities of Home Secretary and incumbent Shabana Mahmood now officially since today. Responsibilities and powers of Home Secretary. Responsibilities corresponding to what is generally known as Interior Minister in many other countries. The Home Secretary's remit includes oversight of Home Office ministers, Home Officer ministers, law enforcement in England and Wales, and UK-wide elements of policing that are not devolved. I hope everyone is realizing what this means here.
Law enforcement is now under the control of a Muslim woman who, according to her own prophet, has half the brain of a man.
This means that this Muslim woman, to whom her religion is more important than anything else, she is now in charge of the police and the enforcement of the law in the United Kingdom, specifically in England and Wales. So, I don't know, when you now encounter the police in the UK, when you encounter the police in England now, and they act like they're protecting the Muslims, now you can actually legitimately ask the question, wait a minute, is it because there's a Muslim in charge?
Mm-hmm. Just keep reading, because this gets way better.
Matters of national security and counterterrorism.
Awesome idea. Look at all the terrorists on the terrorist watch list and what religion they have, and ask yourself, is it a really, really good idea to put a Muslim in charge of all this? Great Britain says yes.
So she's now in charge of the MI5 and all the other elements of national security and counterterrorism.
Mm-hmm. And
the major perpetrators of terrorism, and especially religiously motivated terrorism, are of Islamic background. And the best idea, of course, is to handle this and tackle this by putting a devout Muslim woman in charge of counterterrorism. And then
keeps going.
Matters of immigration
and border security.
Security.
If you know there's a group out there that's obsessed with taking over the UK and declaring it an Islamic state, if you find any religion out there that really, really is obsessed with taking over the UK, I say find a person who believes wholeheartedly in that religion and put them in charge of the whole thing, immigration and border security, not to mention national security and counterterrorism and law enforcement. This is a super, super good idea.
Hold on, what the hell? This just gets worse. Shabana Mahmood, the new Home Secretary, will now influence the government's definition of Islamophobia.
Mm-hmm. Awesome.
She has previously supported the Muslim Council of Britain and endorsed the dangerous APPG definition of Islamophobia. I hope she has since taken a more sensible position. The Muslim Council of Britain is worse than what we have in America in form of care. The Muslim Council of Britain is a group that represents Muslims in the UK that I think the government cut ties with specifically because it undeniably came out that first off, it is a Muslim Brotherhood organization. It is directly a Muslim Brotherhood tied and Muslim Brotherhood started organization, and it also in the past clearly supported Islamists, Islamic terrorists. Founders were people of Islamic terrorist background, and so on. So, a person, think about this, a person who stood with the Muslim Council of Britain, which is tied to the Muslim Brotherhood, the terrorist organization that actually is subversive and wants to overthrow Western nations and install Islam as system wherever it goes. This person is now in charge of national security, of policing, of borders, and so on in the United Kingdom. What is wrong with you people? What the hell is wrong with you people? You know,
Well, to be fair, it's not like anyone warned them.
do your own research. Search for the Muslim Council of Britain. Do your own research. Oh, this is funny. We could just go through their Wikipedia article here. Muslim Council of Britain. So here you have the Muslim Council of Britain and her supporting them. Muslim Council of Britain. Controversies. MCB's claims of being representative of British Muslims have been questioned. Blah, 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 blah. Holocaust. Between 2001 and 2007, expressed unwillingness to attend the Holocaust Memorial Day ceremony and associated events. In a press release, they of course they have issues with the Holocaust Memorial. Sectarianism. There's of course matters of homosexuality, schools, education, Taliban style conditions. What MCB guidance for schools says that parents of Muslim children should be allowed to withdraw their children from school activities involving mixed swimming, dance, sex and relationship education, music, drama and figurative drawing on religious grounds. On farm visits, touching or feeding pigs should be prohibited. It also wants that pupils and parents may refuse to shake hands with the opposite sex during prize giving ceremonies. The Daily Express newspaper referred to the publication as demanding Taliban-style conditions. It said music lessons were unacceptable to around 10% of Muslim pupils. Based on information from the MCB, issued a Ramadan guide to all schools. The document said schools should reschedule swimming lessons to avoid swallowing water, sex education and examinations, so they are outside of the month of Ramadan. So they want to take care of they want to take over the education system and accommodate it to Islamic expectations and standards.
Smart.
When editorial cartoons of Muhammad were printed in the Danish daily newspaper Jyllands-Posten on in September 2005, the MCB saw them as reflecting the emergence of an increasingly xenophobic tone being adopted towards Muslims in parts of the Western media, and argued we should not allow our valued freedoms in Europe to be abused by those deliberately seeking to provoke hatred and division between communities. So they were calling on banning depictions of Muhammad. At the same time, it said they regarded the violent threats made against Danish and EU citizens by some groups in the Muslim world as completely unacceptable. Oh, good. That's good. Istanbul Declaration controversy. Islamic Nation, declaration implored the Islamic Nation, Islamophobia in the Conservative Party, unfair media coverage. But yeah, so their ties, which you can probably find in the history of it, goes back to a Muslim Brotherhood ties, Muslim Brotherhood organization, and the UK government has pretty much cut ties with them because of their undeniable connection to the Muslim Brotherhood and so on. It is a really, really messed up organization that she endorses in the past. And I'm sure she no longer endorses because she's now a proper British person who is now in charge of security. Alhamdulillah. I recently looked into the MCB because we were doing a little interview, and it's much worse than what you find on the Wikipedia page. So very, very funny. Let's see what else. So powers. So she is in charge of oversight of the security service and so on. She is now the person in charge of the security and safety of the United Kingdom and its people. This person here. Shabana Mahmood, a Muslim of Pakistani descent, said Lucy White, has just been appointed as the UK Home Secretary. This means that Mahmood will oversee the UK's immigration policies and national security. I have no words. This is a very, 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 very rude cartoon. 2000 it says welcome to Europe. 2010 says welcome to Europe. 2025 it says well Europe. 2030 it says go away, kafir. Alhamdulillah. Britain has fallen, says Maya Tusi, who is, by the way, getting married tomorrow, so you shouldn't be thinking about this. Shabana Mahmood is now the Home Secretary of the United Kingdom of Great Britain and Northern Ireland. Based.
Didn't you say Mahayar Tusi is like super low energy?
The absolute opposite of it. Yeah. The absolute opposite of it. It was very funny to meet Maya Tusi in person. He's just, he's constantly on the go. Constantly doing something.
Say he is a whirlwind. A
Never
whirlwind.
stopping. Never stopping.
He never stops, never stopping.
It's kind of interesting for people like me to talk to people like Maya Tusi. It's like we're hanging out. We are on the train together, and he's like, "Oh yeah. So wait, hang on. Just give me a second. Yeah, hello. Yes, of course. Yeah, we should do this. We should do that. Yeah, okay. All right. Okay. I'm gonna get back to you. Oh yeah. Blah, 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 blah. It's like that the entire time, man. How do you live like that?
Cocaine is a hell of a drug.
Starmer just appointed Shabana Mahmood Home Secretary. She's in charge of UK national security and oversight of the security service, MI5. She's a far-left radical Muslim extremist. Very, very rude. Very, very rude. The United States needs to immediately stop sharing top-secret intelligence with the UK.
I wouldn't be sharing crap with the UK at this point.
Let's see.
I'm just here. It's Saturday afternoon at a peaceful protest outside of a Sainsbury's store here in central Birmingham. And it's 3:30 and the store has actually just shut as a result of the peaceful protest. That's about 4.5 hours worth of business that Sainsbury's is losing for supporting goods from the Israeli settlements, which are illegal under international law. So they're calling on Sainsbury's and all other stores trade settlement goods.
Get a better camera. What's wrong?
Yeah, and don't do it while someone's screaming the crap out of you behind you.
Dummy.
They stopped doing so that they do not
Worst video I've ever seen in my life.
Incredible to see. And
All right, so she was there in the field bragging that that through protests they shut down a store from selling stuff because they were importing things from Israel.
Hey, someone should put this chick in charge of tons and tons of stuff.
Huh. Hey, that's a good idea. Eyal Yacobi says, breaking, the UK's new Home Secretary is Shabana Mahmood. In 2020, she signed a letter demanding that foreign criminals, including murderers and rapists, not to be deported. I don't believe you. What are you talking about? Dear Prime Minister, let's see if it's... Is it from her? How do we know it's from her? We, the undersigned, write to you as a group of cross-party parliamentarians to express our grave concern over Home Office plans to deport 50 people to Jamaica by charter flight on 11th February 2020. 2 years ago, the Windrush crisis shook the country. In a violation of human rights, the government was found to have been detaining and deporting British citizens and those who had the right to live in the UK for decades. At the height of the Windrush scandal, the government suspended charter flights as they could not guarantee that no wrongful deportations would take place. Not only is there an unacceptable risk of removing anyone with a potential Windrush claim, but there has been a failure by the government to remedy the causes of the Windrush scandal. It is therefore crucial that all further deportations are cancelled until the long-awaited lesson learned review is published and its recommendations implemented. We understand through a leaked version of the review that it recommends revising policy toward FNOs, ending deportation for those who arrived as children and only considering deportation in the most severe cases. Given that The Guardian has reported that the review is at Maxwellization stage, which means that the government has it and are now editing it, it seems only reasonable that any further deportations should be stopped until these important recommendations are published and implemented. We would be grateful if you would, as a matter of urgency. Okay. Without context, I don't really understand what this document is about, honestly. But if anyone knows more of what was happening here, is this really what is happening here? Because if so, that's pretty messed up. This is the new Home Secretary. Islam, my own religion. I like a lot practicing. Yeah, we already saw that. Visegrad actually broke down the duties. Breaking. Starmer just appointed Shabana Mahmoud Home Secretary. She will now be in charge of matters that concern law enforcement, national security and counterterrorism, immigration and border security, oversight of the security service, MI5. This is fantastic, man. I always wanted to have a Muslim, a devout Muslim in charge of national security. I hope we can do this in America as well as soon as possible.
You heard it here, Trump.
Trump, what are you waiting for? We need a Muslim in charge of Homeland Security and the Department of War. Right now. That's what we need. That's what we need, man.
And make sure it's Daniel Hakikachu.
Yes, we need Daniel Hakikachu in charge of that.
And the Muslim cowboy.
And the Muslim Brotherhood.
And Sheikh Yasser Qadi.
And Sheikh Yabudi.
They're trying to do it with one little city, Epic City. Let's make America epic with Sheikh Yasser Qadi.
And Sheikh Yabudi. I can fix this, guys. In the UK, I know the UK has a thing of just ignoring white British people and giving everything over to non-white British people. So if you want to do that, give it over to me. Make me the ruler of the nation. I mean, even the right has that whole thing. They're like, oh, let's start a new party. And the leader should be like some guy from Pakistan. So
and then 2 months later, hey, let's start another party. And 3 months after that, hey, let's start another party.
And let's put a Pakistani guy and on top of the party.
But hey, we're coming up with so many parties, we're gonna run out of Pakistani guys.
Yeah. Anyway, let's start another party. This time,
hey, that's a good idea.
We'll start with a white British guy, but hey, but let's put a Pakistani guy in charge of operations.
Yeah. Hey, you know what we haven't done in a while? Start a new party. It's been like weeks since we've done that. Let's start a new party.
Who should be in charge of the party?
I'm gonna go with Pakistani guy.
Oh, good idea. So, yeah, since British people like doing that, I nominate myself to be sole dictator of the United Kingdom, which shall henceforth be referred to as Great Britain, since the kingdom has become completely useless. And I will take care of all your problems. Do it. Be smart about this. Do it. No party. We don't need a party. It's just me.
Zip party is a good name for it, though.
That is, yeah. It's
it's got a nice ring to it.
ZP, with like a pink background and like leather straps or something like that. That would be nice. King AP of Europe. What?
Garkid party.
Ooh. AP, you have to be a taqiyya Muslim for this to work. I don't want to. I just want to be dictator. That's it. The Nuclear Math, did you write a book about Momo being queer? You already said that. Michael Knowles was gushing over Candace Owens and had zero pushback against either her or Tucker Carlson and wants to rehabilitate Pope Pius. Why do I care about that? Candace Owens, really? That's interesting. I don't know. I cannot do it to myself to watch an episode of Tucker Carlson, no matter who he's talking to.
You know the number one reason I am seriously reluctant to watch one of his shows. It's his stupid laugh. just like random people. I saw people saying he sounds like schizophrenic with this. I don't know about that being associated, but I've seen that. But he'll be talking something dead serious and stuff like this, and no. It's like, what the heck is wrong with you, dude? What are you on?
Because he was touched by a demon. That's what he said. I was touched by a demon.
He got zooted by a demon.
I was touched by a demon.
They zooted him in the desert.
By a demon.
You mean this? What's wrong with him?
Sharia law is bad, Seth. I don't know if you've heard that. It's bad. It's worse than what's happening in New York and Detroit. It's just bad.
I'm glad that was so like who laughs at it would be one thing if he'd said something that was like that funny.
Bad, Seth. I don't know if you've heard that. It's bad. It's worse than what's happening in New York and Detroit. It's just bad.
But David, some people just have a different sense of humor, you know.
And you're like, hey David, go ahead and watch his entire 2-hour interview.
Some people have a different sense of humor, you know. Some people think that this is funnier than, for example, South Park. Yeah.
You know to be funny though. Just go through a bunch of his stupid videos and just cut a bunch of his maniacal laughter and just title it Tucker Carlson laughing.
Hey, that's a good idea.
That would actually be handy.
Sharia law is bad, Seth. I don't know
And
if
call
you've
it
heard that.
Tucker Carlson's infectious laugh.
Oh,
What's
yeah.
happening in New York and Detroit is just bad.
It might be a demon. I don't know. 18 ministers, do you have citations for the hadith where Moses, prophet, don't decompose, and the one where he died and was bloated and started stinking? David, do you have any?
Not offhand.
Do you know of this?
I mean, I've heard of such things.
Powerful. Joe Mama says, made a super chat. Thank you, Joe Mama.
Sunan Abu Dawud.
Oh, good. That answers the question. Khaybar's Barbecue, AP and David Wood need to rule the UK. Who will rule Scotland and who will rule England? I can take care of... I don't know, man. I kind of really have some... I like something about Scotland. I've never been there, but I kind of like something about it, you know.
I like it. There's something cool about it, man. In general, any place
That's
with
another place.
like castles and places that eventually, used to have like William Wallace and stuff.
Okay, then you take Scotland, I'll take England.
Yeah. Sunan Abu Dawud 1531, found this one on sunnah.com. Among the most excellent of your days is Friday. Yay! So invoke many blessings on me on that day, for your blessing will be submitted to me. They, the companions, asked, Messenger of Allah, how can our blessings be submitted to you when your body has decayed? He said, Allah has prohibited the earth from consuming the bodies of prophets. So, hey, how are we going to be blessing you when your body has decayed? And nope, doesn't happen. Anyway, Sunan Abu Dawud 1531. Pretty easy to look that up.
Pretty based. Pretty busy. I always wonder if it's over for the West and Christianity, but then I remember that in the end we win. Indeed, nothing is over. Azra said, I saw a Where's Waldo today, but it said Where's Muhammad and showed an explosion. Should I feel bad I laughed so hard?
No. I've lived my life by this advice. Never feel bad about anything, ever. No matter what it is. That advice will carry you very far. Well,
I'm just looking it up now to see if I can find it.
What, the Where's Waldo?
The Where's Muhammad one. Did you see Laura Loomer tweet on Palestine conference and them calling for neutralizing people in America? Hassan Poker was there too. I haven't seen it, but I believe it. I believe it. They're all sick people. Paul, in an Israel Instagram page called Hasinor showed Valentina burning the Quran. All comments were anti-Islam. David Wood needs Hebrew channel. The time is ripe. Really? But the ADL condemned her, so...
D Wood won't be having a Hebrew channel, unless you mean the Daily Wire. The Daily Wire could. But it is... things are a-changing as far as just like back in the day, someone makes a video and stuff and they just get swarmed by Muslims. Now they get swarmed by people, not in the Zut sense, but they get swarmed by people blasting away at Muhammad. Again, not in the Zut sense, but you guys know what I mean.
Wait, where is that, man? I'm trying to find it.
What? You still looking for Where's Muhammad?
No.
Are you looking for Hazanor
Yeah, I'm looking for
Instagram page?
their report about the Quran burning.
It's on the Hazanor page, man.
I know I'm on the Hazard page, but I don't see it. So maybe I'll find it one day. I don't know. Maybe I'll find it one day. Le Petit Chris says, does this news beat Trudeau having a Somali Muslim speaking in Supreme Court in the name of Canada against Quebec secularism legislation? Most definitely it does. Here you have a Muslim woman directly in charge of national security. It's a completely different issue. Much, much worse. Much, much worse. Paul Fuentes is quiet about the Pope assassination plot. Powerful. I haven't seen it either, though. Chaibas Barbecue, AFD politicians are dying. It's pretty bad. I saw some stuff about that as well, but the police says there is no foul play, and of course, I always believe whatever the police says. Tesbot Mahmoud responsible for harsher sentences for white Brits. Also, David Lammy, Deputy Prime Minister. Please check out Mastermind clip, UK doomed. We'll check it out. Ash, what's up, Ash? Is it bad that when my wife says PSL season, pumpkin spice latte, my mind jumps to PSL, Romanian sniper rifle used by jihadis? It is very, very bad. It's terrible. Absolutely terrible. Christian Killen says, AP Dave, I'm certain that the argument for length of Hamid's pipi by Andrew Wilson is the funniest argument against Momo's prophethood I ever heard. The funniest, yes. One of the funniest, yes. David, what do you think?
I've been planning, and maybe I'll have it up this week, but I've been wanting to make a video about start off with Sheikh Yasser Qadhi saying the Hadith methodology is basically a big joke to academics, and there's not one academic who takes the Islamic Hadith methodology seriously, and then go to Shabir Ali saying, wow, it's great. It's great if we throw the Hadith out and treat them as unreliable, because now we don't have to defend it anymore, and we can just focus on the Quran and just treat the Quran as authoritative, and then combine that with Muhammad Hijab in his famous video saying, if you just go with the Quran, you conclude that you can have sex with a 5-year-old and so on. And then, of course, get to Hijab's harm principle, where he applies the harm Hadith to sex with girls, and then apply that and say, okay, so according to Hijab, Muhammad didn't harm Aisha when she was 9 years old and he had sex with her, but that means that he had a penis that was under 2 inches if he didn't harm her. And then it all ties together. It all connects together. Not like the old Zut connecting with Muhammad, but
That's pretty rude.
oh, it's in Hebrew, dude.
I know.
They added Hebrew subtitles.
Will be raped and your sons beheaded unless
that's how you start a video.
And your sons beheaded unless we stop Islam once and for all. We're done turning the other cheek. Remember, David didn't pray for Goliath. He killed them. America is a
she said killed them.
Those terrorists
It's funny that they added Hebrew subtitles to this, man.
Muslims can fuck off to any of the 50.
Wait, did they translate that too? Dear Hebrew speakers, did they just translate that too? I'm really curious.
7 Muslim nations, there is only one true God, and that is the God of Israel.
Gave my brothers a drink up.
Did they translate that part to Hebrew speakers? Please tell me.
Your daughters will be raped and your sons beheaded unless we stop Islam once and for all. We're done turning.
This is why we need flamethrowers, man.
Remember, David didn't pray for Goliath. He killed them. America is a Christian nation, so those terrorist Muslims can fuck off to any.
Okay, comments. Hazanor says, outrage around the world following an unusual video of Valentina Gomez, a Republican congressional candidate from Texas, burning a Quran book with ablaze and promising to end Islam as part of her election campaign. I don't know anything about Hazanor or where they stand, so I wonder if this is what their audience generally is. Let's see. Ben Kahana says, can I have her Instagram? Oi, oi, oi. Is the burning of Quran bothering you? I don't know. I'm still stuck on the fact that babies were burned alive here on October 7th. A few more millions of these in the United States were good. Where's the respect? Where's the acceptance of the other? Why do you vote for her? Where do you vote for her? Huh. Interesting. Every country. Interesting. I love her without knowing her. Ah, good. See, the response doesn't seem that bad. Remember when we were disrespecting Islam, we were told that it wasn't a very good thing to do in Israel. So
that was one of the several times we were victims of apartheid.
Yeah. Hasanor is left-leaning. Really?
Oh, that's funny if they put it up. Look what's going on. And people are like, yeah, more of this.
Interesting developments. The London stand dilemma will get really violent soon. Read the history and what happened to Germany in Germany World War II. You guys predicted that. UK have been zooted. Steve Sinead says, I noticed Palestinians frequently praise Ottoman Empire, but the Mamluk Sultanate is never really brought up. Confused why? Because Mamluks ruled for so long. Do Palestinians frequently praise Ottoman Empire?
I'm not familiar with that.
I mean, I've heard some of them talk trash about the Ottoman Empire. I've heard some of them speak well. The thing is, the Ottoman history of the region is pretty messed up.
Well, yeah, but it may have been idealized because when the Ottoman Empire collapsed, that's when Great Britain took over the area and then eventually Israel. And therefore, they may look back to the Ottoman Empire as these wonderful times back in the day when the British and the Jews weren't in charge.
Yeah, I'm not sure if it is in this one, but I have several things on this. So here's one book, Arabs and Jews in Ottoman Palestine, which is only called the region Palestine. It wasn't actually called Palestine. But I mean, the Ottomans were pretty messed up too. The Arabs, they treated them like dirt.
Because they're Turks.
The Ottomans
do.
Kind of had this funny attitude.
They had
which,
an
by the way,
attitude, all right.
Turks still have.
Still do.
Nowadays.
See?
This attitude of we Turks, we are
superior, we should rule the world.
These
We're
Arabs
so
are just
great.
a bunch of
We
savages.
we steal all the best stuff from the
Yeah.
Greeks. We're so good.
The Arabs are a bunch of savages. They don't like us. What do they want? Freaking idiots. That's basically how the Ottomans ruled over Arabs. So, and they did some really cruel things to them. So. Funny. Which is why there was a major Arab revolt at the end of World War, or during the World War. Steve, Nate, what?
Hey, and then they're probably still Turks are probably still butthurt from hadiths like this one. It was narrated from Abu Hurairah that the Messenger of Allah said, "The hour will not begin until the Muslims fight the Turks, a people with faces like hammered shields, who wear clothes made of hair and shoes made of hair."
Beast.
The Turks are like, we will show you, we will take over Islam and make fun of Arabs.
How dare you? It's crazy how Turks and Arabs hated each other, but are both Muslims. Were they both Sunni? Yeah, they followed both different schools of Sunni Islam. The thing is, Turks generally had a very warrior honor culture, and the Arabs had the Arabs probably started that hostility because the Arab side was always very Arab supremacist when they led the Islamic Caliphate, and they wanted Arabs to be in charge of everything at all times. Later on, Turks took over, and they saw it as Allah giving them the authority to be in charge of the Muslims. They basically acted like Russia. That's
Hey, Hey, here's another one. Sahih al-Bukhari 29:28. Allah's apostle said, "The hour will not be established until you fight with the Turks, people with small eyes, red faces, and flat noses. Their faces will look like shields coated with leather. The hour will not be established till you fight with people whose shoes are made of hair." Turks were all butthurt over that forever, and then like, we'll show you, we'll take over Islam.
Big Rick, what's happening over there is really bringing down Mahmoud. Very depressing. Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Yeah, she's probably really sad.
That's true. That's true. That's very, very true. GJ has a lot. You guys see IP stream on the Islamic Dilemma?
Not yet, but I heard he schooled Paul Williams, and that I heard that Paul Williams was saying, "Oh, I'm kind of new to this" or something. Paul Williams has been studying the Islamic Dilemma and having discussions about it for a long time. IP just got into this, not the way Al Zut got into Muhammad, but he just got into this topic, and apparently he schooled a Muslim apologist who's been studying responses to this for years. So that is interesting. And guys, that should be pretty encouraging. You can have a new guy come along, learn the argument, and run it against a guy who's been preparing responses for about a decade, probably, or more. And new guy can crush him.
Nice.
That's interesting.
Nice.
It's noise.
Maybe we should review that sometime.
Oh, we should. Wait, when are you leaving?
In a week. We have time.
Oh, so we got this weekend to cover that.
Yeah.
All right, maybe we'll cover that.
Live call and show. Islam Falls. We gotta check that out. I'm gonna put it on my list and check it out. The nuclear Mahdiji. What?
We need live call-in shows, man.
Who's calling?
Just saying, we need live call-in shows, man.
Who's calling?
He runs Islam Critiqued.
Oh, what happened to him, man? I haven't heard of him in a while. On the bright side, they'll have less lady cops. That's funny. Mark H said, "Have you seen the Gamonzilla meme?" No, I haven't. What is that? What's going on there?
Yeah.
Sorry, I was just checking out how my little preliminary thing worked out.
Lil Mo in the desert. Prophet of fraud. Can't read, but I'm preaching. Can't write, but I'm reaching. Hey. What? They call me Lil Mo, straight up from the sand pits. Angel in my face like Reed, bro, I can't spit. Couldn't spell a letter, still I came with the bar. Sugar mama in my corner said you chose and you starved. Talking smack on my tribe, stop the idols, that's lame. But I'm bound to a rock, whole squad do the same. Told them pray 5 times, east, west, rotate. But the compass on my God, switching up by the day. Christians wasn't buying it, Jews shook their heads. So I grabbed up a sword, made them follow instead. Built my house on the rubble of the faith I denied. If you quit my religion, then you quit your life. No more. Can't read, still teaching. Made a cute look holy, whole world still reaching. Say no idols, but I'm flexing on the stone. Prophet or a scammer, got the desert as my throne. I ain't coming with peace. I can.
Pretty good.
Not bad, man.
Yeah, pretty good. Not bad. I've been working on the song for a while, so it's called Lil Mo by Lil Mo.
We still need a Zoot song, man. A super bass Zoot song.
We do. Powerful.
It could be from the perspective of Ibn Masud as he's watching this whole thing.
Ibn
Masud could be the one rapping.
Ibn Masud. I also this is a little more, by the way. I put some work into him. Of course, he's a little bit short. I don't know.
Not the kind of work Al Zut put into him.
Yeah, but he has good shoes. You know, he has a solid outfit, and he has tattoos. This one here says Dihya.
It should be property of Dihya.
This one says Aisha with a sword underneath.
Hey, no, it should say slave of Dihya.
Yeah.
Or slave of, there should be slave of Zoot on there somehow.
This says Muhammad, and then I just put the Shahada here, or La ilaha illallah Muhammad Rasulullah twice.
Abdul Zoot.
Abdul Zoot. But I still think that the Dihya thing is the best, man.
That is funny.
That's good.
That's Muhammad's tramp stamp.
Yeah. It's pretty good. So anyway, this is Lil Mo.
It would be funnier if he pulled off his jacket and was dancing, and then you saw it on the lower back.
Oh yeah. Still working on it, man. This is like
We'll get it done, man. Come on.
maybe I'll have a video of him or something instead of just having his mouth move. Jay Pendragon, I'm wondering if it will be even matter to convert to Islam if a Christian comes to believe in Muhammad, I'm wondering if it would even matter to convert to Islam if a Christian comes to believe in Muhammad, since they have already committed the unforgivable sin of shirk, so no matter what, they go to hell. Yeah, it's still all nullified once you convert to Islam. So
yeah, the way you would reconcile that, because you have all these passages in the Quran which say that Allah doesn't forgive shirk, but then you have people committing shirk, even like Abraham commits shirk in the Quran, and then Allah forgives him and so on. And then, I mean, a bunch of Muhammad's early followers were all just pagans and so on, so they were all guilty of shirk. And then even Muhammad himself committed shirk. But anyway, the normal way of reconciling that is what it means is that if you die without repenting and so on, Allah can still just forgive anything. You could be the world's biggest murderer and so on, and Allah can just forgive you, but there's no scenario where he's going to forgive shirk that you haven't converted and repented for. Oh, that would be good. A song about him having the strength of 30 men, man.
yeah, I just
where he got it.
Yeah. This is a good thing.
And call the song Zut Power.
Anims says the West has fallen. I know it hasn't. What are you talking about? School I go to in Germany, Nordrhein-Westfalen, is about
it's in the name. It's in the name of the place.
Nordrhein-Westfalen.
Westfalen.
Yeah. It's about 85% Muslim. We even have our own big prayer room in our school for Muslims. Well, you can always deport them, So, Big Rig says, putting in a devout Muslim woman, wait, aren't they intellectually deficient in Islam? Yes, they are. That's why you put them in charge.
That's how I'll probably respond. That'd be a funny little video. Say, hey, a lot of people are concerned because you've got this Islamist and you just made her one of the top leaders in the UK. I'm more concerned that she's got half a brain, according to her prophet. And just, that's the whole thing. That'd be funny, wouldn't it?
Yes.
Oh, and Muhammad saying a nation will never succeed if it has a woman as its leader. And yet Muslims will vote in women leaders in a heartbeat in nations that they don't want to succeed. That interesting?
Yes.
They want these nations to collapse and fail so they can take over, and they'll vote for women leaders after Muhammad said that a nation will never succeed if it has a woman as a leader.
Powerful. IP, would you agree that since Michael Knowles, if David's idea of persuading Muslims proves ineffective, do you think the deportation of legal Muslims immigrants is realistic in a country like Britain? I don't care if it's realistic. If you have people who believe in certain things like Islamic rules, you should deport them. Make it realistic.
Yeah, and guys, my point is kind of like, if you wanted to get to a point where you're just, okay, any of these guys who are crossing lines, we're just gonna deport them. We're just gonna deport them. You would need massive public support for that, and you'd have to win a bunch of elections to get leaders, and so you'd have to do a lot to get that to even be a scenario. It's way easier to just learn how to criticize Islam and mock Muhammad. And so I don't know why people are like, oh, we have to do the way more difficult thing that is going to be way more difficult to actually accomplish, and because we don't want to have to do the difficult work of actually looking some stuff up and using it. I don't know.
Powerful. Arctic Base says, AP, would you agree that since Michael Knowles didn't push back at all against a evil Tucker Carlson, we can call him Chicken No Knowles? Yes. I allow it from now on. Paul, in new episode, Tucker said Hamas aren't terrorists.
That's in the Knowles one?
I don't want to believe you.
If so, I might want to check that out.
I do not want to believe you. Which episode is that, Paul?
And yeah, we're not going to trust anyone whose name is Paul, because it sounds like what Muhammad was saying on the night of Al-Zut. What? You laughing at?
Nothing.
So you were marched out of the State Department
new episode
2 weeks ago.
Is this
Just look up Hamas. Just search for Hamas.
I don't want to search for Hamas. Let me see. Hamath. Let me search for Hamath. Hamath.
Rich and famous, like famous Amos.
All Hamath meaning what? Hamath. They were Hamath. Christian family are Hamath, claiming Hamath. Yeah, tell me where he said that and at what part. I would like to check that out, because if so, then that's pretty.
I only see 2 references, and not saying that in context.
Margot Wingston is a member for 4 months. Congratulations, and thank you for being here. It's always good to have you here. Dan Dave, the greatest defenders of secularism, multiculturalism, when they are in a minority. As a majority, they implement Sharia. No multiculturalism. Then this is very, very rude, and I agree with it.
And just so everyone knows, I've only said that 1 trillion times, but I've been saying this for a long time, and I got it directly from the Muslim sources. But jihad proceeds in stages. Why are they doing this? It's exactly what Muhammad did. When Muhammad was completely outnumbered in Mecca, it was all, hey, to you be your religion, to me be my religion. Hey, let's not fight over this stuff. God will eventually judge us, and we're right, but let God judge. Later on, when they're most powerful, everyone convert or die or be subjugated. That's the pattern established by Muhammad, and it's still the pattern today.
Possibly. No one can plausibly claim that a Christian family are in Hamas. Okay, so like what? Tell me, you can't claim that they're in Hamas while simultaneously claiming that Hamas is a group of jihadis. They're Islamic extremists, which they also claim constantly. Which I don't know if that's true. By the way, it seems more like a political organization. But whatever it is, they're telling us constantly they're Al Qaeda. So it can't also be true that Christians are a member of Al Qaeda. Sorry.
Yeah.
So then. Extremists, which they also claim, group of jihadis. They're Islamic extremists, which they also claim constantly. Which I don't know if that's true. By the way, it seems more like a political organization. But whatever.
You know who did this? You know who's responsible for him saying something so ridiculously retarded right now?
That nun.
That stupid freaking nun.
Careful.
And this is why.
This is why I called her a mustache whore.
This is specifically why I was so mad at that nun. This is specifically why I called her evil and evil intentioned. This is specifically why I called her a liar and a fraud and much worse. Not because I disagree with her, but because I know that she knowingly and willingly and deliberately goes in and in front of thousands of people literally defends Hamas and explains to this absolute imbecile here that they are not jihadist, extremist terrorists. And you see how impressionable this absolute imbecile here is. He hears that from the nun, and then he starts repeating that. And now he repeats it to thousands of other people. What is this except evil?
Dude, you should make a quick little video about that, like the absurdity of non-Muslims being in Hamas when their slogan is what? Death for the sake of Allah and all that stuff.
Hamas is a terrorist organization. Hamas is an Islamist, terrorist, jihadist organization. Their slogan is that they want to wage jihad and kill and die for the sake of Allah, for the sake of jihad, and that their ultimate purpose is to establish the laws of Islam through the Quran given by Allah to rule over all others, including over Christians. It is specifically in their constitution, in their charter, that nobody else should be in charge except them as Islamic rulers. They should be in charge over Christians as well, that they should start a caliphate. It is in their charter that they believe in the eventual eradication of the Jews because this is what Muhammad promised them. This is an absolute, complete terrorist organization, a jihadist terrorist organization. And that so-called nun actually came onto this show, and I have been good. So let me check before I say anything else about this. Let me check my emails here. What's her stupid convent called again? Convent, what's her stupid name again? Agapia. Agapia, non Agapia.
Agapia. What's wrong with you? You remember when I was driving and I called you because I heard Amadeus on the
I know
by Falco on the radio when I was flipping through it? I was like, "Hey, listen to this, man! It's actually on the radio." That was stupid.
I was in the middle of something and you're calling me. And just
yeah, and you were about to debate. And I was like, "Hey, check this out, man! They got Falco singing "Rock Me Amadeus" on the radio."
So I actually emailed Agapia's convent or monastery because people said, so why don't you just get in touch with her? Why don't you just ask her? So I actually did. Now I have different sources through which I also could try to get in touch with her. I didn't want to go that route, so I decided to just simply humbly send her an email, and I didn't get a response to it. So I did try.
That's all you can do.
And I conclude that she is an evil, filthy, disgusting, lying monster. And a piece of filth.
Did you not learn from the first time you got in all kinds of trouble over this?
And a liar. I don't care. Because if you go and you put on a nun's outfit or a priest's outfit or a bishop's outfit or a president's outfit or whatever it is, you put those things on you, and then you go and as that actually like a prostitute for a terrorist organization, go on and propagate the idea that this terrorist organization, this Islamic terrorist organization, which butchers innocent civilians, actually is not a terrorist organization, then you are a filthy, disgusting whore for terrorism. And that's basically what she is. That's what she did. Thank you, Nun Agapia. I have none of that respect for you. Piece of filth. Anyway, Dan Dave said Pakistanis refuse to live with Indians in one country with whom they share everything in terms of food, language, and separated in the name of Islam, but they claim they can live with white British people. Exactly. Powerful. Holy Joe says selling England by the jizya pound. Powerful, powerful. Dan Dave says all Muslims seeking to immigrate to West should be asked to draw a cartoon of Mo and post it on their social media profiles and then visit their home country before they get the passport. Problem solved. I would not add the requirement of afterwards visiting their home country, but otherwise, yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah, it's pretty messed up, Dan Dave.
Yeah. Elder Dawa Troll, why yes, Dean responds, people bringing up the Al-Zut is a horrible offensive thing. Tuck a laugh. Next debate. Now in my next debate with Dee's response, the next debate will be a very, very nice debate. So James K. Guy had Ibn who ate my shawarma. Mood the goose. Powerful. Dan Dave Pakistanis are the most radicalized peacefuls in the world, as their whole identity is based on religion. They encourage other peacefuls to be more radical. Powerful. Uninspiring philosophy. David, did you get al-zooted in prison? This is exactly what uninspiring philosophy would post, of course.
Yeah,
Timothy
I've
Freeman.
mentioned before, and obviously there are places where it would be a huge issue and so on, but it was kind of a myth in certain areas. Like I was locked up for
It's
years,
not
and
fun.
I only even heard
It's not
about
funny.
two people being raped. And in both cases it was punishment. In other words, it's not just guys going around graping people. It's you cross some serious lines and now we're going to punish you by doing this. Again, I'm sure there are places where it's way more frequent and so on, but all the places I was at, it's like a myth. Wasn't really an issue for people.
Also, it's not funny. A new video just dropped.
The FBI called me last night and told me that the Muslims want to kill me. But the truth is, they want to kill you and anyone who believes in scriptures other than the Quran. And that includes the Jews, the Christians, the Hindus, and even the dragon believers like Joe Rogan. Michigan just gave Muslim terrorists official police badges so they can arrest anyone who doesn't submit to Islamic law.
Did you hear that? That's not what they did. I mean, I pointed out the patches too, but she said so they can arrest anyone. That's kind of funny.
I am putting my life on the line to protect the American way of life.
That's true.
Help
She
me
is.
go to Congress by praying for me. And if you have the means, please donate to my campaign because resistance to tyranny comes with consequences.
Very, very nice, Valentina, but please remove the awful music.
I would think it's hilarious if she got into Congress, just because it would be hilarious for her to be sitting in a room where people can get up to the mic and there's Ilhan Omar and Rashida Tlaib and so on in there. That would just be... Let's say we would have some fun live streams, AP. Some fun live streams. Make Congress fun again, ladies and gentlemen. Get Valentina up in there.
Zane said better music than yours. I don't care if you're a member, you are officially banned from now.
Yeah, I'd ban the crap out of him. AP's been cranking out some of the biggest bangers of all time. Not in the Zoot sense, but awesome bangers.
But so does submission. And I will never bow down to their stupid rock and their
She always says stupid rock.
I love how she brings up the stupid rock.
false prophets. So join me on this fight because Islam has no place in Texas. Jesus is king.
You know, I find some of her stuff really extreme, and some of it is a little bit overblown and not entirely accurate. But I support her just because she's badass against Islam.
You
And if we have
generally need some
opposite
we need more badasses against Islam.
We have the opposite direction too much, so we need some correction here, and then we have her.
Yeah, it's an adaptation. It's an adaptation of what Aristotle said. He was talking about the virtues, ladies and gentlemen. He's talking about the virtues, and he was suggested that if you lean too far in one direction, then try for a while leaning in the other direction too far. And he compared it to a stick. If you take a stick that's bent and you want to straighten the stick, you don't just straighten out the stick. You bend it in the opposite direction, hold it there for a little while, and then let it go. And then it's nice and straight, unlike Muhammad. But so the idea there is, hey, if society's been too far in the appeasing and getting Islam, letting Islam do whatever it wants and so on, you got to bend maybe too far in the other direction and be like Valentina Gomez for a while, and then things will even out and you'll get the appropriate mean.
I burned a pedophile book and I get attacked. That's funny.
I burned a pedophile book and I get attacked. You can call it a pedophile book. I mean, it's talks about sex with prepubescent girls.
Oh, it is a pretty pedophile.
That's the definition of pedophilia.
Yeah. It's a pretty nasty book. Pretty nasty. Timothy Freeman, how in the actual folk are the Pommies meant to raise the banner of Saint George and to reclaim their country when the cops are run by Abduls and jihadis? Well, I don't want to say anything about this right now. I will speak about this later. Dan Dave, Turks, Iranians are super racist towards Arabs. Yeah, that is true. Stefan the Pelted, AP, you ready for EU5? Gotta defeat Ottoman. Wait, when is it coming out, man?
What's that, some dumb video game?
Get me excited. When is it coming out? Is there a release date?
There was for the Al-Zut.
Release date November 4th? Really? Whoa! Maybe that's when I will start my game channel, and I will stream games. I'm 20 years late to the party for that, but yeah. Tanzil Muslihud said, respond to Yasir Qadi why Islam is true, please. Does he have a video named Why Islam is
Wait.
True?
Oh, it'd be awesome if he had a video called Why Islam is True, because I can't find anyone actually trying to give any case for why Islam is true. Yasir Qadi.
Proving Islam is the truth. 8 days ago, 23,000 views. Oh, that's good.
53 minutes. Proving Islam is the truth.
53
Yasir Qadi.
minutes.
This is interesting. What could he possibly argue?
You have to go through that. You know that. So.
It's 53 minutes, man.
I know, but you have to go through that.
Gosh.
All I'm saying is that you have to go through that.
The metrics for judging Islam. Would an atheist accept empirical evidence for God? Atheism is an arrogance issue, not an intellectual one. So far, it's not arguments. Thesis for the proof of Islam.
Say thesis?
Extreme skepticism. Okay, get to your actual arguments. What constitutes a proof? I'm already halfway through it. Okay, the first evidence is the Quran. Your first evidence is like the dumbest thing there is, except for Muhammad. You better not have a section on Muhammad there. And why don't you argue like Allah and Muhammad did? Like that it's a special mold. This is the proof. You going to be arguing that, Yasir Qadi? Okay, so the first evidence is the Quran. The second evidence is historical truths. The third party evidence is theological coherence. Theological coherence. The fourth evidence is the morality of Islam. The morality of Islam is your fourth evidence.
Hey, wait a minute. Here's another guy who tells us.
Do you know what made?
Who tells us why he was convinced that Islam is true? Which, by the way, comes from a born Muslim. Very, very, very convincing.
What?
Here's the Muhammad Hijab explaining what convinced him that Islam is true, which is very funny because he was born Muslim.
Yeah, well, I became convinced that Islam is the truth because we got the haq and the hikmah. I was raised to believe this by a total con artist, but then I realized that I could bang endless hotel wives if I believed this, and I was like, yo, this be the truth, isn't it?
Speaking of, I should publish Hotel Muta song. I just need a better title for it.
Do you know what made me assured that Islam is true, basically?
How?
For me, what made me assured that Islam is true is basically the Quran.
Hmm.
So I started an in-depth study of the Quran and my own self as a teenager because I wanted to see certain things. I looked at everything, like all the claims that would be made for and against, from mathematical miracles to scientific miracles. I looked at everything. I looked at the linguistics. Now, the thing really that did it for me was the language. Because after a while, I realized that, you know what? This book, it's not fathomable that this could have been from a human being. If someone had, I'm not saying, obviously, this is not the case with Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, but if someone had absolutely like the worst record in morality, but presented that book, I'd accept them as a prophet.
Oh my goodness. Well, that's exactly what happened. What the heck are you seeing in the Quran? It's like someone took a bunch of rambling stuff that you assembled from a bunch of different people and wrote it all down and then tossed it into a blender and mixed it all up until it's like complete incoherent gibberish.
Are you convinced now that Islam is true, David?
Yeah, Hijab just said,
the Quran, even if it's brought by the worst person in the world, like Muhammad, then I would say it's the truth. It's the
Will
truth.
you take your Shahada?
Yeah, I'm ready after, Hijab. Who can question him?
Powerful.
What possible basis could there be for doubting anything Hijab says?
Powerful.
Very powerful.
Very, very powerful. I don't know why these people are the dumbest people in existence. Big Rig, Lil Mo outfit not accurate. Where's the semen? You're making a good point, actually.
Maybe it was originally a different color, and that's all semen. Well,
that's a good point. You need to put some semen on.
Put some stains on there. Put all kinds of stains all over it.
Yeah. I'll do that. Time of Mo Jewish exilarch named Marzutra III.
Get it? Isn't that an amazing coincidence?
Is that true?
I only heard that from Ash Mays, but Marzutra.
It is true. What? What? It is true.
Marzutra III, also called Marzutra Bar Marzutra. Marzutra Bar Marzutra was the posthumous and only son of the 30th exarch of Babylon, Marzutra II. He lived at the beginning of the Savora period. Marzutra II had been crucified on the bridge of Mahuza by King Kavad for allegedly trying to obtain by force of arms a sort of political independence for the Jews of Babylon. Marzutra III, who was born on the same day as his father's death, did not attain the office of exarch. Ha! Ash Mays is wrong. He did not attain the office of exarch. He was raised secretly and traveled in 520 CE, aged 18, to the land of Israel, where he became head of the Academy of Tiberius or Sanhedrin under the title of Resh Perka, several generations of his descendants succeeding him in this office. His grandson, blah, 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 blah. So there was Marzutra III, and there was Marzutra II. And I'm guessing that there was a Marzutra the first.
He was the only son of the third. Oh, okay. He wasn't the exarch. So there you go. You have been debunked, Ash. Ha! Paul. But hey, thank you for that. Thank you for that information. I had no idea. In the newest ep, Eyal Yakubi clipped a vid of it. Based. I saw it after you posted it. Thank you. Arctic based. I still have nightmares about the Nun.
Arctic base wakes up. He's like, the Nun's coming to get me.
Well, it was pretty scary. Veritas, the Bible constantly talks about the Israelites who ring for other nations in God, so it is completely biblical to call this jihadi supporter out. Yeah, I mean, when I called her a whore, I didn't mean that she's actually a practicing prostitute. That's not what I was saying.
I thought you said mustache whore.
Yeah, but that didn't mean that I actually called her a mustached practicing prostitute, like sex worker. That's not what I was implying here. I thought it was pretty obvious. Because I don't think that there would be a chance to be a proper mustached sex worker. I don't understand how that would even work. Paul Gatzad interviewed Valentina in his channel. Oh yeah, I saw that. MT Cooker doesn't know Hamas is an acronym, huh? Oh yeah, I wonder what he would say if he brought up what Hamas actually means.
Oh yeah, that would help, wouldn't it? That would be an easy, quick little video.
Has he ever wondered? I wonder what Hamas actually stands for. Right? For those who don't know, it stands for Islamic Resistance Movement. Haraka al-Muqawwama al-Islamiyya. Shortened Hamas. Islamic Resistance Movement. Lebel, why short legs? Wegen Lügen haben kurze Beine. No, it was actually completely by coincidence. I didn't even think about that. But yeah, he has short legs because he's a liar. And Wyckoff says, why don't you tell us how you really feel about Agapia? Don't be so shy. Agapia, 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 Agapia. Yeah. I don't know, man. If honestly, anyway, I will not add anything to that.
Yeah, you're going to be getting a call tomorrow.
I know I'm going to get beat in the desert.
How dare you?
Now you'll never be baptized.
The conversation actually did come up with my priest, and he talked to me about it, and he said he saw what unfolded, and he wanted to talk to me about it. And I said to him, I posted later about how it was a mistake, but I only think it was a mistake because my later acts of depicting her as a demon in red kind of completely destroyed the entire purpose of my message, because it gave people a completely distorted idea of what I was actually saying.
And
So-
also gave people something to complain about that was not
Yeah.
what you were actually saying.
Yeah, because it got a lot of attention, but it took away entirely from the message and from why I was calling her out. So I shouldn't have done it. It was strategically stupid as well as generally just not appropriate, I said. However, I do not regret calling her evil or even calling her a devil. And we had a whole conversation about that. And I concluded that I still cannot find it in myself to regret that I called her evil or a devil. So that's where we are.
You know, it's funny. What you just talked about, I kind of do that, but deliberately, but like in a reverse way. Like where you're saying, hey, here's what I was saying, but then I do this picture thing and then people focus on that instead of what I was saying, and it kind of detracts from what I was saying. I'll argue something and then give Muslims something irrelevant to complain about, knowing that they'll all complain about that, and then the actual argument will just circulate very rapidly and they're complaining about the wrong thing.
Yeah, that's true. You made Lil Mo too cute. Give him a big gut at least. No, Lil Mo is a cutie. That's how it goes. Veritas said, visited Coptic church, very based. They had cross tattoo on wrist. Said that semantics cause split between Copts and Orthodox. Love Orthodox. Well, they also call themselves Orthodox. Both Eastern and Oriental call themselves Orthodox, which is very powerful. Yeah, I did go to the Coptic church. It was very, very amazing. It was pretty amazing. It was an amazing place. Amazingly place. And I shared a photo of it. I thought it was a amazing, peaceful place. Much love to the Coptic Christians. Pretty based people. Here. Powerful. Pretty based place. Pretty based. Alhamdulillah. Anyway, David, anything else?
No, we've said it all. We've said everything.
I said it all. I said it all. I said it all. That guy's voice was annoying. He's talking about you, David.
What?
He's talking about you.
I'll block that dude.
All right, man. Anything else? Nothing? All right. Apostate of Allah, what's up? Flip says, AP, please do my voice in a Russian man accent. AP, can you make a debate me in the desert and Kama Sutra trick? David Wood, love you as well.
We do need Kama Sutra.
Kama Sutra. Kama Sutra.
Hey, or you could adapt it a little bit and call it Karma Sutra. Karma Sutra. And then call it what goes around comes around. And all these guys standing behind Muhammad. Classic.
This is what we're dealing with. This is supposed to be a good Christian channel.
Well, it's just also because we have this musical genius AP and all these videos that are about to come out, and we come up with all these crazy ideas, and all these crazy ideas will eventually be music videos.
Good Christian channel. See what happens. What happens with this good Christian channel? This is where we are. Terrible. Anyway, we're going to be live tomorrow, and we will see y'all again soon. David, anything else?
Nope.
All right. Thanks, everybody, for watching. Thanks always for being here. Appreciate all y'all. Glad to be back. I have been traveling like insane this year. I haven't ever traveled this much before. But
you need to quit traveling so much, man.
Big plans.
You're not even going to be able to make any videos.
Oh, that's why I'm traveling, actually. So I'm gonna go to the UK and go to Poland after that. So if any people are in Poland and want to meet up in Poland, I'm actually going to be in Poland on the 15th and 16th and 17th or something like that. So
hey,
anybody in Poland, let me know. Get in touch. Let's do it.
Hey, if Muhammad were still alive, what country would he want to go to?
What is
Poland. Sorry, that was stupid. That's dumb. Oh man, I can't believe it.
that was horrible.
This what happens, man. This what I tried to avoid. I was trying to avoid coffee because I've been drinking way I'm trying to have coffee earlier in the day and not to be chugging it all night long and stuff like that. And so I just got water here. But this is what happens. This is what happens. The jokes get worse. The jokes get worse without coffee.
Poland.
What? The whole place called Poland? Is that where the Zoot were from? I must go there.
Zootland. So I'm going to UK, and then I'm going to Poland, and then next month I'm going to Israel, inshallah. All right. Anything else? Nothing. All right. Thanks everybody for watching. As always, heed the call and listen to the advice of one very, very happy goat who wants to tell you, where is my goat?
I got mine. Ha ha! You lost your goat. Ha 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 ha! I got your goat. I got your goat.
Where's my goat?
Hey, speaking of your goat, is Sajid still MIA, man?
Who?
Sajid, man. Sajid. You always play the clip of Sajid. No
Oh,
one's
yeah.
heard from Sajid in like forever. Sajid.
In other words, this translates to the following.
Stay away from Islam.